After 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Hong Kong, Shanghai and Singapore, where we find Adam Hancock. Adam, the US president also saying countries are going to have to pay a lot of money to get out of these tariffs. So I suppose the markets are responding not only to what's happening now, but what's going to come.
Absolutely, yes. Markets, obviously, it's a cliche, but they really hate uncertainty. And right now, there is so much uncertainty around. Nobody knows exactly what President Trump is going to do next. Is he going to introduce more tariffs? Is he going to allow countries to negotiate their way out of these tariffs? And markets here in Asia this morning are looking ahead to later this week when some of these reciprocal tariffs kick in. Remember, President Trump, the 10% baseline tariffs are currently in now, but many countries that are on his so-called naughty list, they're going to be hit by even bigger tariffs later this week. And many of those countries are in this part of the world. So Japan, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, just some of the examples of countries that are going to be hit with big import levies in the coming days. And we've seen on markets today here in Asia, there has been a real lack of confidence from investors. Markets plunging at the open. And often when markets do plunge at the start of the trading day, it does recover throughout the day. But in all honesty, we haven't really seen that. Many of the markets opened down and they've stayed down all day so far. We saw this morning in Japan, before their stock market even opened, a circuit breaker was implemented to halt trading in Japan's futures market, just to allow investors the chance to cool off a little bit because the selling was so strong. And any investor in this region who's looking for reasons for confidence, well, they're not really getting it from the latest comments from President Trump. He seems to be doubling down on these tariffs. There's no signs at the moment that countries will be able to negotiate their way out of trouble. And that means that markets continue to get hit in this part of the world.
Yeah, and I suppose it depends if a country is friendly towards the United States geopolitically. That may also make a difference, because we know that China has already reciprocated. But Taiwan's interesting. President William Lai has just been speaking.
Yes, absolutely. He's posted on social media to say he looks forward to working with the US and working together for a golden age of shared prosperity. He's also said that he's not going to follow China and implement reciprocal tariffs. Instead, he wants to start negotiations with Washington on a zero tariff basis. He's also offered to increase imports into Taiwan and increase investment from Taiwanese companies into the US. So he's taking a very different approach to China. Obviously, they hit back with their own countermeasures just a few days ago. Beijing won't like this because they don't like it when Taiwan operates as an individual nation and is also negotiating with the US. But it's very important for Taiwan. They've been hit by 32% tariffs from the Trump administration, but they're responsible for exporting a lot of semiconductor chips. Now, these chips are actually exempt from the tariffs at the moment, but they go into a lot of products that aren't exempt. So, for example, many iPhones are made in China using chips from Taiwan, and then they're shipped to the United States. So there's a bit of a knock-on effect, even though the actual semiconductor chips themselves at the moment are exempt from the tariff. So Taiwan thinking about their relationship with the US, not just in terms of the economy, but also they rely on the US for defense as well. And therefore, President Lai is looking to try and appease President Trump and help him out in any sort of trade deal.
Yeah, I've heard that a top-notch iPhone in the States may end up costing more than $2,000. Nintendo, its Switch, it's delaying the export of that new product to the American market. It's really quite interesting and scary.